this movement going on from like the people at the top saying renting is actually better than owning. To which I go, who's gonna own it then?
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna take a wild guess here. It's the people who saying renting's better who are gonna actually own the property. So if that's the case, if that's the case, why do you want to own it? Because there are benefits to renting. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. Like my AC was leaking last week in the built-in wall unit. I called the landlord. She had to come take care of it. She had to pay for it. I just write her a check for rent. However, when I leave and she sells this place, she's gonna make a killing on it, right? So it's like renting a house buying a house has been known as the American dream since forever. Everyone wants to buy a house. It's when my grandma passed, she left like 3 houses. My mom and dad immediately retired. That's the power of owning property in this country. So the people who are saying renting's better, I say, yeah, then you sell your houses then and start renting. Lead by example.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yes and no. Like you said, there are a number of reasons why someone would choose to rent. If you're transient, you're not like gonna be here for a long time. Especially those who are coming and going in Boston for school, they don't want to buy. Some of them have chosen to do it. If they have the asset, they'll do it because they know a couple of years or a few years appreciation is good for them. But going back again in Boston, many of the people, most of the folks who live here in Boston are renters. They're not homeowners. They're renters. And also, there are benefits to owning and renting. As a tax professional, I tell you, the capital appreciation, and also you have the tax exclusion when you own a home and you have the home for more than 2 years. If you sell, up to $500,000 if you are, that's a primary resident. If you sell up to $500,000 is excluded from capital gain, right? Capital gain. So if for a family, like you said, it would be a great option for them to build equity and build wealth, right? Pass it on to their next generation. But also too, someone who rents has the opportunity to appreciate asset too, or to accumulate wealth if they're paying a reasonable rent, right? If you're not paying 80% of your income towards rent, you will be able to accumulate. You're not gonna do the real estate accumulation, but you might have your disposable income going to the market.
Or you can save towards buying a house. And correct me if I'm wrong. I say it's what, 30% of your income should go towards rent or housing?
Yeah, with Section 8 or like controlled social housing, it would be 30% of your income. Or
how many people actually hit that margin though?
Most people
close.
Are paying a lot.
I pay a little more than 30%. I probably pay close to 40. Yeah. But how many people realistically hit that number?
I know for me in Boston, only those on Section 8 housing get to pay 30% of their income. Or Section 8 or project-based Section 8, those folks are paying 30%. But everybody else, a lot more. But going back again to like, how do you build wealth? Housing is not the only way to build wealth. You can build wealth through a business or investing in the market or investing in your children's education. That's another way. Investing in anything that's an appreciable asset. Okay, it doesn't have to be a home. So if you are renting and you're not rent burden, you are able to save, you are able to invest, and you are able to do other things with your disposable income, you'll be practically in the same situation as someone who owns. It's just like a person who owns will have an asset that they know that all the investment is in that asset, and eventually it will appreciate. And historically, yes, real estate has in many cases outpaced the market and it's done better than the market. But at the end of the day, either one, whether you're renting or owning, if you have disposable income, you can definitely invest and be able to accumulate asset and accumulate wealth. The problem with right now, because those who are renting, especially in Greater Boston area or in places like New York or high rent burdened areas like California, so much of your income is going towards rent. You don't have anything else. You don't have anything else. And that's the reason why, for a lot of people, they see renting or owning as the only solution to being able to create wealth, right?
Well,
So yeah, I mean the tax benefits too. The tax, but why is it that you're not able to deduct your rent from your tax return? Like the deduction, the renters. Let's say you pay $24,000 for rent this year, and you're not able to deduct anything, right? In Massachusetts, they give you $3,000 deduction, but at the federal level, you cannot deduct your rent because that's a personal expense, they call it. And yet, someone who owns a home is able to deduct the interest.
Property
Of course,
taxes? No, is it the mortgage?
interest and taxes. And if it's investment property, all the other expenses. But yeah, you are able to deduct your interest, mortgage interest, and taxes. And of course,
the person who owns the house and is renting it out gets to write off gets to write off of the payments you are making.
Correct. Exactly. You literally, that's why going back to corporate landlords, you are literally the one paying for the mortgage, you're paying for the taxes, you're paying for the insurance.
Yeah, you're paying for everything. But they get to write it off.
They get to write it off, and
that's why us renters can't, because they can. Right?
Yeah.
It'd be a double write-off for the government. Why would they do that?
I know. They're able to write it off, and they get to benefit from all the appreciation so when you own a property, you have the asset appreciation, capital appreciation, and then you have the income. So they're collecting income, they're collecting rent, and they have the asset appreciation. And of course, their return on investment is huge versus a tenant gets nothing except for the opportunity to live in an apartment. And many times, the apartment is such dire, bad condition that even a dog shouldn't be living in those apartments.
Yeah.
Because many times they're trying to evict.
It's very hard to get maintenance requests, like especially for a corporate landlord. Good luck getting a maintenance request from like BlackRock being your landlord. Good luck. Let me know how that goes for you.
Yeah, I've been in situations where I've seen apartments with mold. A woman just sent me an email the other day, actually a text with pictures of her apartment, mold, and you have conditions that are so bad that you're like, and you're paying $2,000 a month every month to these people. Yes, but I don't want to be homeless, and they're afraid. They don't want to be homeless. They don't know that they can stand up and fight against this, because you should have habitable and a safe place to live. If you're exchanging a premium, you're exchanging money for an apartment, you ought to have a habitable, clean, safe apartment. But many times, folks are too busy working 3 jobs. And also they're too afraid. They don't have the 3 months to go for security, the first and last. So they're like, you know what, because I don't have that 3 month rent to save up, I don't want to worry. I don't want to fight my landlord, because if I fight my landlord, I am going to lose, especially if they're fighting by themselves.